Hey everybody, welcome to Two Cops, One Donut. I'm your host, Sergeant Eric Levine. Before we get started, here's a quick disclaimer. The views and opinions you're about to hear are those of the hosts and guests alone. They don't represent any police department, agency, sponsor, or employer. Two Cops, One Donut isn't responsible for anything said by guests or for any videos, clips, or content shown during the live stream. This show is intended for adult audiences only. We cover real incidents, we show graphic and sometimes disturbing footage, and we don't shy away from strong language or adult conversations. There may or may not also be alcohol involved. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Everything you hear or see on the show is for entertainment and educational purposes. It is not legal advice, and it's not tactical instruction, and it shouldn't be used for such. By continuing to watch, you're telling us that you understand, you accept all of this. All right, now let's get into it. Good morning, folks. I know what everybody's thinking. They're like, what is he doing on a live so early? And what is he doing on a live on a day that he does lives later on in the day? I'm up. I had a topic that was on my brain this morning, going through comments, and I just thought I'd jump on. So why not? What's going on, Nina? My mom is up. She's probably having her morning coffee and smoke. Actually, she's probably not. It's like an hour ahead where I'm at. She's probably been up and moving. So, Blue Line Transparency's on. What's going on, brother? So why did I want to get on early today? Well, one, because my wife's got her own morning routine. I've got nothing going on, and normally I'd be sitting here trying to make a video to put a reel out. I made that last night, so after this gets done, I'll just pop that on there. But I like to go through the comments. Something that we're known for here on the show is we like to show we discuss, we engage a lot, and that's what we like to do. So I see Dick Beater memes over there on Instagram. Hey guys, also, if you are on Instagram or TikTok, I would humbly ask you to come over to our YouTube channel. So much easier to get involved in the community and the comment section. It is very difficult for me to run a one-man show and be able to see everybody's chat on every different social media platform. So we try to get it all funneled into YouTube. You have a much better shot at becoming a part of the live and engaging with us if you come over to the YouTube channel. So with that said, Freeman Keys, I can verify the engagement. Let me pop that one up there. Yeah, so I don't know what you guys like to drink in the morning. Because it's so hot in Texas, I prefer energy drinks in the summertime. So I'm actually drinking a energy drink nootropic. It's called Gorilla Mind. I've been drinking that for several months now. It's my new thing, my new fave. So Dick Bitter Memes, what's the YouTube channel called? Look, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say pretty common sense, but it may rhyme with Boobop's Bop Boba. It's Two Cops, One Donut. So just jump over there. All spelled out at Two Cops, One Donut. That's the YouTube channel. I'm just giving you shit, Dick Beater Memes, because you have a funny name. I love your name. It's one of the only excuses I have to say that in one sentence. So if you're over on TikTok, I don't see anybody on there right now. I don't anticipate seeing a whole lot of people on here because I don't ever do these morning shows. So I was curious to see how many people would actually jump on. This is a litmus test. You are a part of the litmus test. So thank you very much. My mom said is an early bird riser, and a late night owl, right? Toward 5298. Honest answer. What is the obsession with ID? So it's exactly why I got on here today. Somebody on the Instagrams, I'm going to pull up the comment. I don't know how well this is going to show up on the screen, but we're going to try right here. So you guys may have seen this one, Ohio cops forced ID. So I woke up this morning and I was like, let me read through the comments because there's a shit ton of comments on there. So this is the one I specifically wanted to do this live about. So I'm going to read this out loud. this guy said, if you haven't seen this video, basically these officers, they show up to the scene, and it's a First Amendment auditor is really what it is. And he's filming outside of a store. The store calls on him. First Amendment auditor is smart. He stays off property. He stays on a public sidewalk and films. At no point does he ever go on property. At no point does the business owners articulate any sort of crime. So these officers have no, excuse me, my morning voice is still there. These officers have no crime and essentially telling this guy like, dude, what you're doing is weird. Okay, fair enough. And they're like, and before we end this, we just got to get your ID for this trespass. So what this guy, Praetorian 168, says, let me give you some education before you get people hurt. He's going to give me education. So fair enough. I am not a full glass. Maybe there is something that I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe I messed up on this one. So he says a business can have you trespass without a valid reason. That's his first sentence after he's going to give me some education. He's right. That is 100% right. A business can have you trespassed for nothing. They don't have to have a reason at all. You can be trespassed. So he is right on number one. I never said that was not true. I never said anything like that. He continues and he says it's their right under law as a private property, even if open to the public. Again, he is right. So his first point, all of that is correct. I'm not arguing that. Nor did I say anything in the video that counters that. So on a criminal trespass warning, which is essentially what he's talking about, trespassing somebody from a place, that is a civil issue. That's not a crime. It is a criminal trespass warning. It's saying, hey, right now we're in the civil realm. In that civil realm, it's not criminal yet. But if you continue this behavior of staying on property after we warned you, it becomes criminal. That's why it is a warning. It's letting you know it's going to become criminal. Okay? So we've addressed his first point. And he's right. But my retort to that is I never said that's wrong. So number two, unless you saw video footage, you chose not to put in this video, he said, she said, as to whether or not he entered the property. This hasn't been edited by me. And this guy never does go on property in the full video. This is just the video that he put out. So I see what he's trying to say. Well, we don't know. It could have been clipped to where he was on property. He wasn't. He's a professional First Amendment auditor. He knows what he's doing. He intentionally showed up, stayed on the sidewalk, and just started filming to see what would happen. So, okay, you're bringing up non-evidence. You're bringing up what ifs. That's not an argument. We could play the what if game all day. Number three, the video is clearly edited for effects that it's easy to tell. And I'd bet money they asked him to leave and he didn't. Under the law, in about 43 states, if you're asked to leave from a business by law enforcement and don't comply, you are now detained for formal trespass. He's right. However, that's not formal. It doesn't matter under criminal trespass warning, which is what he's considering a formal trespass. If you stay after being told to leave, either by the shop owner or by the police, now you're subject to arrest, and it's a criminal issue, to what I said earlier. What he's mixing up is a formal trespass, is just getting the paperwork. And this is where he's wrong. This is where the ID part comes in. And this is where cops mess this up all the time. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen here. And this is where I'm going to tell you, Praetorian, and I gave this big, long response so he knew point by point. And I backed it up with actual law, and I put it on there. This is where cops mess this up all the time. And I'm going to look in the camera in this one. When we have a criminal trespass warning, We're in a civil realm, right? This is not criminal. And this is where cops think that they have to ID, that they are allowed to, and it's mandatory that they ID. It's because I'm gonna grab a prop here. Let's say this is the criminal trespass warning booklet, right? We got all these criminal trespasses in this book. And it's 3 copies, right? You got your original copy and then your 2 copies. There's that you give 1 copy to the business, you give 1 copy to the person that's being trespassed, and then you got the original copy. So, and that's for the police department. It says name, date of birth, the business location, the representative of the business that wanted the criminal trespass warning. So it's got all that in there. And where cops mess up is they're like, oh, this booklet, this all of a sudden supersedes the law. And they forget that it's just a civil issue. It is not the law. There is no law saying that during a criminal trespass warning that you have to ID. Because under the law, you only have to ID if you've committed the crime. And there is no crime. It isn't even a crime. It's not even an investigation into a crime. We've already established no law has been broken. You stayed on the sidewalk. You never went inside. These people can't tell you to leave the public sidewalk, so you didn't even disobey a trespass. They just wanted you trespass. Can they trespass you while you're still right there in the vicinity? Sure, they can. The cops can go give it to you and say, hey, they don't want you back. And I would even argue that there's some legalities that are messed up beyond that, but that's not the point. So, give me 1 second here. So in that, I'm losing my train of thought here because I started thinking about the legality side of it. So getting the criminal trespass warning it's a civil thing. So, and where cops are messing up is they think because your name is on here that they have to get your name and now you have to ID, and that's not true. State laws across the board, bare minimum, and this is what I was getting into with the stop and ID states like Ohio. They think because their name's in there that you have to ID, and you need RAS in those states. You need reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime, and we've already established that's not there. You can't compel them to give a name under the threat of obstruction, because obstruction has to be in tandem with an actual crime, and you don't have that. You've got a civil issue. So you don't have to ID. You can tell them that my name is Good Citizen, and they got to put down Good Citizen. And it's the cop's job to get as much information as they can in case you come back. So that includes body cam footage, surveillance footage, whatever it is, to put your little report together, because you don't have a criminal report that you're doing. You have an info report, an information report, basically saying, hey, this guy was criminally trespassed from this area. If he comes back, it becomes criminal, and we've already got a record of it. So it's on you to get as much info as you can to say that for sure that this guy on this criminal trespass warning is the same guy that violated that trespass warning later. I'm sorry, you got to do a little police work. But they are not compelled to ID. They don't have to ID. That's the rule. So to address his part at the very end, he says, and yes, you do have to provide ID or it's obstruction. If you're asked to leave from a business by law enforcement, don't comply, you are now detained for formal trespass. No, not true. Now, you can be detained for the criminal trespass investigation. I could show up and see you standing on the sidewalk and say, hey, friend, do me a favor. Right now, you're detained. Stay right there. I got to go ask these this business what's going on, because I got to go find out if a crime's occurred. So I have a suspicion, because I was called there and you were the description they gave me, that something's going on. I just don't know what it is. So I can detain you temporarily, find out from the business what's going on, but that still doesn't give me the right to get your ID. Once I talk to the business and they can't articulate a crime, I can go over to you and go, hey, brother, you're free to go. I don't even have to ask you anything after that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up there and I'm going to first talk to the business. I'm not even going to tell that guy he's detained. I'm just telling you how I would do it versus what you can legally do. You can detain him temporarily, but your job's to investigate and see if a crime's occurred. So I'm going to go into the business and say, hey, what's going on? I'm like, this guy's been out there filming outside our business. Our customers are getting pissed. Okay, cool. Was he in your parking lot? Well, no, he was over there on the sidewalk. Okay, did he come in here and did you tell him he was not allowed to be here? No, he never came in. Okay. Did he threaten? Did he do anything other than just stand there and film? No. Okay, sir. Well, let me educate you real quick. That's a First Amendment protected right. He can film from the sidewalk. I know it may make you uncomfortable, but unless he comes on property or anything like that, there's nothing we can do. Well, I don't want him coming on my business. I want him trespassed. Okay. Let me get your information here. Let me start filling out my criminal trespass warning book. Cool. I'm going to go out to that dude. Hey, guy, these people don't want you to come back to the store. As a matter of fact, I got to fill out this criminal trespass warning book. You don't have to, and this is how I would do it. You don't have to, but can I get your name for this trespass warning so I can issue it to you with as much accurate information as I can give? No, fuck off. I'm not giving you my ID. Okay, cool. I'm just going to put NA right here. And here you go, sir. You're no longer allowed back on their property. Well, sir, I was never on their property. I get it. But they have the right to trespass anybody they want. That's just how businesses work. They don't have to have a reason. Cool. That's it. That's the end of it. And the officers that are upset, like this Praetorian guy, is like, no, you have to ID them. No, that's not true. Just put as much information as you have, but there is no legal fucking obligation for this person to identify. And that is how criminal trespass warnings work. That's why it's a warning of crime. It's a warning of a potential crime that you may commit if you violate this warning. Go into the comments. Let's see what y'all got to say about that. Freeman Key says Jeff Gray has more money than I. So when restaurant owners trespass him, he laughs and says he would never go in there again. That man can probably buy their business. Love me some Jeff Gray. I don't know how to say your name. I think he meant arrest. Cops show up, you refuse to leave, they can arrest. Yes, that's true. That is you violating a trespass warning. Jeremy Hayes over on TikTok. Damn, you looking good. Thanks, brother. I don't know how to say your name. Nefedric said, 2 cops, 1 donut. Do y'all play with each other's nightsticks? JK, y'all are awesome. Sometimes. Don't judge. With all these videos out here, I am shocked that we still have, what did he say? I'm surprised that we still have cops not completely understanding this. I know, right? Shug White. That's a good name. I like it. Shug White 818 over on TikTok said, where are you a cop? Or where were you a cop? I am still a cop. I'm not a were. I'm not past tense. I am an active cop. And I can't tell you that. I can't mix where I'm a cop on my social media platforms. That would be a geo violation. But what I can tell you is it's in Texas. We have over 1 million calls for service a year. We have 1.2 million people in population-ish. And I've been a cop 20 years. I'm still doing it. I am also a military cop. I'm in security forces. I'm actually with the 802nd out of the Lackland Air Force Base. Shout out to the Legion. What's up? And I've been doing that since 2006. So I was active duty for 4 years. I'm a military cop, if you're wondering what security forces is. Been a military cop since 2006. I did active duty 2006 to 2010. But yeah, I am an active cop. I'm a sergeant now. I work in a real-time crime center. I have a background in undercover property crimes, street crimes, property crimes unit. I was an academy instructor, control tactics instructor, use of force expert. And the reason I'm that is because I was a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. That's why they wanted me to teach control tactics. Let's see. I have a dual master's in criminology and criminal justice from TCU, Texas Christian University. I am the vice president of training and development for the National Real-Time Crime Center Association. So I got a lot of expertise in the space, but I am still currently doing that. Were you a motor? Hell no. Bro, if you caught me writing a ticket, you really, really fucked up because I don't write tickets. I am anti-ticket. I'm pro-education. I may pull you over and be like, bro, relax. But nah, I'm not a ticket dude. Trying to read everybody's. I'm looking over on I see Instagram's got a comment up there. Orozco Umberto said, what do you think about as an officer who gets multiple complaints from businesses, arrives and sees the person who the business called on and approach on a consensual encounter or pedestrian violation? Consensual encounters are great. Pedestrian violation, I mean, it's kind of weak sauce. I look at bigger picture. Like, what did you do? Am I going to go and try to flex my authority on some pedestrian thing just to make contact and force you to ID? No. It goes into the moral and ethical reasons behind why you do what you do. If my moral and ethical reason is just to get you ID'd so you stop being a pain in the ass to this business, it's not really my thing. If it's a real deal, I'll get you eventually. But if it's some bullshit and you're just a headache to somebody because you're homeless and you got nothing else to do, like your life's already miserable enough being homeless and being put through the system over and over again, only to be kicked out on the streets. I'm not adding to that cycle. That's just me. More police should take control tactics training at prisons. All law enforcement and part of the criminal justice system that deals with suspects and bad guys need to be doing grappling. I prefer Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think it fits the profession the best. I think everybody should be at least a mandatory blue belt before they hit the streets. And that needs to be continued training that's funded by the department. I would rather they fund grappling versus quarterly firearms training. I'd rather you shoot once a year than do no grappling training. I think they should be paying for a monthly subscription for grappling training, or providing it, depending on how big your department is. But looking over at TikTok, Colin said, if all cops were like you, brother, this world would be a better place. Appreciate you, Colin. Ryan B said, limb control and pressure points. Pressure points, I'm not a pressure points guy. They don't really work. Not for a guy that's really fighting. But Principe, man, I'm just gonna call you Azul. I can't say your first name. He said, Os. Yeah, he's a roller. I like it. I'm not a cop. I learned all this trespass stuff through doing security. Nice. Craig Holcomb said, I love when Eric shouts out from Share Force. Haters gonna hate. Harrison, my boy, one of our mods is in the house. I think I saw Twitchy in there. Harrison Brock said, 2 cops, 1 donut. It's easy to find a place. It's easy to find the place you work. It's no state secret. Yeah. Guys, just Google Eric Levine, police officer. You'll know exactly where I work, what I do, if I'm full of shit, if I've got some huge criminal investigation background where I've been in loads of trouble being a cop. I haven't. It's not hard to figure out if I'm full of shit. I've got a T. Cole instructor's license, so you know I'm a teacher. You can get a hold of Texas Christian University and see if I graduated from there. I'm not making up my education. Look, I'm not a dummy. I know you internet sleuths out there. I bet Harrison knows my house. It's not hard to figure. If you're any good at doing open source investigation, you see me film myself in these reels all the time, walking in my backyard. It's not hard to reverse engineer and figure out exactly where I live. Like, that's the world we live in, guys. Some of y'all are so worried about flat cameras finding you. Shit, you do enough just to show everybody where you live all the time, where you're at. I promise you. Let me see. Texas DPS used to have hand-to-hand combat in boot camp till someone died due to injuries. That's from Lone Star Financial. My academy still has hand-to-hand. We call it close quarters training, CQT. And you have to box and you have to grapple. First, you have to go against another student that's a similar size and build to you in the class, and then you got to box an instructor and you have to roll against an instructor that knows what they're doing. We got to make sure that you can take a hit. We need to make sure that on the ground against somebody that knows what they're doing, you are helpless. And that's what we do. We open your eyes. A lot of academies aren't doing that. And it shows. Twitchy Skitch said to Eric, thank you. Too many houseless folks get caught up in the system simply to keep those contract jail beds full. So many unconstitutional anti-homeless laws, but most can't fight them because they have no money. Now, I will give policing a lot of credit. Once people get a little bit of experience out there, they see that cycle with homeless. And we don't generally jack up homeless people unjustly. You may get a rookie or two that doesn't quite see that. They don't learn the system. They don't understand that you taking them to jail they're just going to be kicked out in an hour or two. They're going to be kicked out of the jail before you finish your paperwork sometimes. And that's not a rookie's fault necessarily. They got to learn. There's certain things you just aren't going to learn until you do the job and you've done it for a while. And you guys can do that. You can understand that in your own life, in your own job. There's just things about your job, no matter what your job is, that you're like, oh, fuck. I've been doing this job 5 years now, and it's crazy the stuff that I'm just now realizing versus when I started. So, Freeman's bitching about the ads. I'm sorry, I don't know. YouTube has changed a lot of things. I just signed an agreement with YouTube about monetization. It was 40 pages worth of shit. I don't even know what I just signed, but I wouldn't be able to stay monetized if I didn't sign it. So I signed it. I'm probably getting screwed more. Look, if you guys want to help the show monetarily, which helps us do these extra shows and do these things, I did have a video go viral. The Darlin, what the hell's his name? Damon Darling, that's his name. That video went viral for me. Got about 500,000 views within under 48 hours, that's pretty big for me. So that paid me like $300. So I put that back in the show, and now you're getting an extra show because of it. So that's where your money goes. It goes into the show. So thank you. And if you can't do monetary donations, which is fine, I'm not a beggar. I just ask that you like, follow, and subscribe. Share us. Let people know. That's the best way. Looking over at TikTok, I just came in to see where the other cop and donut is. Z Martin over on TikTok. I am the other cop. You missed the little explanation earlier. I'm a military cop and I'm a civilian cop, municipal cop. So I am the two cops. That's where the name came from. Always used to say you can make your job as hard as you want to. Ryan B. Yep. Mark Lindstad, do you think homelessness in itself should be a crime? No, I don't think being homeless should be a crime. Come on, bro. Can't be punished because you can't afford a house. 1-2 punch audits. He said you'd end up with a debtor's prison. Yeah, 100%. Yep. Oathkeeper. Tennessee has turned homelessness into a felony. You get sentenced to prison for 6 years. The privately owned prison thing is crazy to me. I don't even know how that's legal. I mean, do you not see the conflict of interest there just at face value, morally and ethically? That private prisons that's nuts. I don't see how that can be a thing. I just checked up on Instagram. I work in Sacramento. We have some homeless there. We just try to survive and be safe. They aren't hard to spot when you talk to them. Then there's the mentally ill and drug addicted people. Yeah. And that's most of the homeless issue. Mentally ill and drug issue, that's a lot. I've actually taken a lot of time and sat down and talked to a lot of homeless people. And I actually his name was Michael Pruitt. Michael Pruitt was jacked. He was in his late 50s and ripped. He was always walking around with his shirt off, crazy long hair. He looked like the guy from Shameless. The I can't remember that actor's name, but he looked like him, the main dude. And Michael would carry grocery bags and he'd put rocks or whatever heavy things he could find. He's always working out like as he go, but he was dirty as shit. Oh, I mean, he was addicted to dope. Meth was his drug of choice. And when he wasn't high, I would try to have conversations with him because we get called on him when he was high and he'd be acting a fool. And we'd have to arrest him. But I asked him, when in his downtime when he wasn't high, I'm like, Michael, what did you do before this happened? And he's like, I was a welder. I said, no shit. And so, optimistic, idealistic Eric Levine officer. He's like, I'm going to save this one homeless guy. If I do anything else, I'm going to save this one. So I went to a metal recycling shop that we had that actually wasn't too far from the downtown area where I'm at. Walked in, talked to the guys and said, hey, this is what I got. I got a homeless guy. Used to be a welder. I don't know his skill level, but he claims he was really good at it. And if you have a spot, could you try him out and see how he does? I'm just trying to get him off the street the best I can. I was like, and maybe he just needs a break. And the guy's like, yeah, sure, no problem. He didn't even ask. He's like, yeah, if you're vouching for him. I was like, well, I don't know if I'm vouching for him, but I'm like, he had a drug problem, so you got to be aware of that. I was like, he's like, we get people like that. They come, they go. He's like, we'll try. I was like, all right, cool. So I find Michael. I find him when he's not high. I said, hey, Michael, I got a contact number for you. I was like, I'll even drive you down there. I was like, I will get you the work clothes. I'll take you and I'll get you the work clothes and I'll get you a ride there. It wasn't crazy far to walk for him anyway. It was only a couple miles from the downtown area where he liked to stay. And Michael tells me no. He's like, nah, brother. I was like, and he talked like that. Nah, brother, I'm good. I appreciate it. He's like, but I'm just going to spend the money on meth. he was very self-aware. He didn't give a shit. He's like, nah, I'm just going to, he's like, it's easier just to go around, beg, get high, come over here and sleep. He's like, it's a simple life, but it's my life. It's like, that was a big wake-up call for me. I was like, holy shit. Homeless can be a choice, y'all. I promise you, it can be a choice. Old Michael Pruitt. I think he's still kicking. I don't know. I'm not sure. But there used to be a rumor that old Michael had a homicide warrant from the 80s that was still outstanding that they wouldn't extradite for. That was the little rumor. That's bullshit. They'll always extradite for homicide, but little things that went around. Any insight on overtime work? Is it mandatory, optional, or depends on the department? Okay, I can't speak for every department. I don't know where I'm at. It's mandatory. Like, there's no option. Like, if you got to stay, you got to stay. That is public service. I mean, it is what it is. So, what does the background check? What does it consist of? Oh, what does the background check consist of? Background checks. You've got a psychology, mental and physical examinations, credit check. That's the big one that surprises a lot of people. They're going to check your credit. Social media check. That's a new thing or newer thing. They're going to go check your social media background. So if you've got a long-standing social media from when you were like because this is now a thing. I was almost an adult. I pretty much was an adult when social media really came out. So it wasn't a problem for me, but some of y'all reckless little 12-year-olds running around on Xbox saying some crazy stuff, and then you get on your social media accounts doing and saying some crazy stuff. That may come back to bite you. So yeah, they check your social media. What else is there? You got your mental and physical test. A lot of them have a meeting, like a board meeting where you have to sit down and go over some scenarios, and they'll ask you questions about your background packet. So you're going to have to do a background packet, and that's usually like 300 questions. It's a beast. It's big. So yeah, that's all I can think of. I never did backgrounds. I can just tell you what I remember. Um, so Twitchy said, please stop spamming the same cluster of comments. If Eric wants to reply, he will. Thank you. Thanks, Twitchy. Yeah. Let me see. Let me go back for him. Let me see what his comment was, because I'm not seeing it. Let me see. Here we go. He said, the short you released yesterday about former Deputy Sean Grayson is a tough one because, make no mistake about it, he took an innocent life with zero probable cause. There has to be punishment for that which there was when cops forget that someone else gives them their power and authority. Used it to harm others unjustifiably. There has to be some sort of consequences, and Grayson is no exception. But at the same time, I also feel bad because I take no pleasure in anyone's suffering. However, the rest of his life and public perception is tarnished anyway. So I do believe his terminal illness is part of the punishment. So to address that, we actually watched that Sonia Massey case happen the day that it was released on here. And I can tell you our overall opinion was that officer had no business being a cop. That officer had no business being inside that house. That officer had no business using any sort of force. That officer should have left the moment he figured out no crime had occurred and bid her adieu. He forced the situation into what it was. He 100% murdered her. He deserved life in prison. And I have absolutely no qualms about karma catching up to his butthole and him getting colon cancer. I have no issues with any of that. I don't believe he deserves the I don't know what they call it, but him trying to get out of prison so he can go die. Nah, die in prison. I'm okay with that. So is what it is. Because you know who can't speak for themselves anymore? Sonia Massey. So it's our job to speak for her. You can feel sorry for that guy for having cancer and all that stuff. I'm not going to take away your humanitarianism. That's great. You have a good heart. I like to think I have a good heart, but at the same time, like, I've got hard lines in the sand that you don't get to recover from, and that's one of them. It's God's job to give forgiveness. It's not mine. So, in that one, as I said at the end, fuck him. Is what it is. All he did was set cops back and brought more attention to why I did that gray area episode about Ronin cops being able to go from department to department to escape investigations. Police departments should have a mandatory rule that if you are subject to an investigation, that it doesn't matter if you resign or not, that investigation needs to be completed and finalized. So that way, when a department may try to hire you, they have that complete investigation and they can refer to that. There also needs to be a national registry, a list that shows when officers, when you've applied, where you've worked. There needs to be a national registry for all of that. If you ever apply to be a cop, let's say you didn't get hired, that still needs to be on the registry. We need to know, oh, he's been trying to get a job at all these different places. That may be inconsequential information. We may never need that. But if it turns out like this Sean Grayson had tried to apply to like 18 departments and then finally gets into one, and then he goes to 6 other departments in 4 years, well, that goes into this other departments saw the writing on the wall. What did they see that this department didn't see? Now we can investigate that department for hiring a guy that 18 other departments turned him down for. Because now we can go to those 18 departments and say, why'd you guys get rid of him? Well, look at his psych eval. This is what we saw. Well, we go to this department. Well, you guys hired him. Why'd you hire him? This psych eval was failed at all these other places. Oh, here we go. It looks like he failed yours, but you still hired him. I don't know that that's true that he failed. I'm hypothetically speaking. So this is why we need to have those types of registrations. Craig dropping 10 gifted memberships like a G. Thank you, Craig. As much as he makes fun of me for being in the chair for us, I guess I'll accept your charitable donation. and giving donut gifts to everybody out there, to include James Wells. He received one. Izzy Bruvy, CJ Elliott. You guys make sure you thank Craig for dropping some membership gifts over here. If you are over on Instagram, hi from Germany. I'm looking up on Instagram. What's up, Brandon? If you guys are on Instagram and you are on TikTok, please jump over to our YouTube channel. That is where we try to funnel in all the community engagement. I keep TikTok and Instagram open as a courtesy, and I try to check it as best I can, but I can't keep up with that and everything on YouTube, because YouTube, we use a program called Restream. They're not a sponsor or anything like that. But what it does is it allows Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitch, Kick. There's all these different platforms it ingests, but it doesn't ingest Instagram and TikTok's chat. I don't know why. So I have to open those up separately just to see the chat. So I beg you, please run over to our YouTube channel and join our YouTube channel so you can participate in the community, in the chatting, because we have a reputation for our community. That is why people are like, what makes it different is because we engage. I bring people from the community on the show. I bring haters, trolls on the show. If you absolutely come on here and want to tell me how idiotic I am and why I'm wrong about something, I bring you on. I let you have your voice. I could be wrong. And that's where cops screw up so much. And I'm trying to be the example, like, look, it's okay to be wrong. You just got to get over your ego and admit that you can be wrong. And that's where cops get in trouble. They double down. Like, you're not going to tell me. I got the authority. I'm running this call. And I'm just trying to show the example even through the show. Like, okay, come on. Tell me where I'm wrong. All right. More often than not, we do meet in the middle ground anyway. It's just hard to do over social media and texting. So, hey, Eric, can I switch back to the Magnum PI mustache you have to have while you're yeah. It depends. If you look good with it, then by all means, go for it. I look like a pedophile. I don't like it. However, I look even worse when I shave everything. So, like, even to the Praetorian 168 that we talked about on Instagram with that comment earlier, I would welcome him on the show to tell me why I'm wrong about criminal trespass. Because I'm very confident in that particular offense because I've dealt with it so much. I've had so much training on it. I live in a city with 1.2 million people. We have over 1 million calls a year. Do you know how many of those deal with trespass? A lot. I have more reps than the average bear. And that's not a knock on other police and other police departments. It's just fact. You're going to get more reps with certain things at different cities. I've got a lot of reps in that. I live in a hot state, so you got a lot more homeless. Is what it is. Blue line transparency. Hey man, why you throwing shade? Love it. Freeman Keys, have you turned on accept gifts memberships globally for TCO? See, that's why I love my mods. They're always trying to help. If I watch on TikTok, does it have interrupting ads? I don't know. 5 ads. Listen, if my mods can figure out the ads, please, I apologize. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why it does that. Is what it is. Freeman's the only one that absolutely hates him. No one else complains about him nearly as much as Freeman. Freeman's like, this is the end of the world. Oh shit. Where are we at? We're at 45 minutes. Okay, cool. I'm trying to do an hour. So hat and mustache sent. Love it. Thanks, Chief. Looking over at the TikToks. Yeah. Fort Worth Roots chimed in. Love it. Bearded Tim's on over there. What's up, Tim? He just joined up over on the TikToks. When you apply to a department, this is from Paul Geraldo. When you apply to a department and you don't get hired, Does applying to a new department look into why you didn't get hired in the first place? That's a good question. I would hope they do. I'm 100% sure mine does. And it's even on the background packet. Have you applied to any other police departments? If so, which ones? And then the background guy is going to look into that. That should be in your background packet. However, if you lie about it, it's going to be harder for the department to know because we don't have a national registry for it. Again, I go into this national registry. Part of the national registry that I'm talking about, and for any cops that are listening, are like, well, that's just out to get cops. No, I'm actually looking at it as also a way to protect cops because we know departments go on witch hunts. They go on these political witch hunts to get you out of the department, and it's unjust. And I'm hoping that by having this national registry and having the full investigation of why they fired you released to this registry, it could exonerate you. Because cops can see through bullshit. We know when it's a political witch hunt. We can see it in the investigation. So, Freeman Keys, I'm not claiming you, Eric. I truly enjoy watching your stuff. If I have to get premium, I will. Love it. K-Palm, I know the ads aren't your fault. It just breaks the flow. I know. It's irritating to me as well. Sucks for me, trust me. But yeah, maybe by going to another platform, maybe that helps it. We're on, let me see. Right now we are on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You can go to our Facebook page. That's everything. And I think Rumble, also Rumble. But I don't know. Our Rumble account, I've had it for like 3 or 4 years. I haven't had it as long as everything else, but the Rumble account absolutely does not grow. Like I've got 85 people on there and it has not moved since then. Maybe I got 84, somewhere in there. Y'all remember when Eric used to get ads during videos? At least we don't have that problem anymore. Yeah, I did. But it's because I paid for premium for y'all. Well, I take that back. Your donations towards the memberships, that pays for the premium, so you don't have to watch ads during videos that I put up here. Speaking of videos that I put up here, what other videos have we not talked about? This is a good one. We'll end it out with this particular one. Share. So this is our Instagram account. If you guys have not seen it, we're going to go to this video, and I'm going to go right to the audio as soon as we...
Gunpoint. Hey, driver. Hey, put your hands up and walk back to me. Hey, anybody else in the car?
My daughter and my son.
Oh, how old are they?
My daughter, my girlfriend, my son.
Okay.
My son, no brain, a month and a half. My girlfriend, she's 28.
Bye-bye. The reason I'm stopping you is your plate's stolen.
You said it's who?
It's coming back stolen. Your license plate. You got your ID on your phone?
Yeah, I got my wallet.
Where's your wallet at?
My pocket.
Okay.
It's not my vehicle.
Whose vehicle is
It's
it?
my girlfriend's vehicle.
Okay. I know you got a small baby, but then...
Same guy. The car was showing up as stolen, so we're just confirming.
Oh shit, no, this is my car.
Yeah, it might be a mix-up in the system, so if it is,
Oh my
then y'all be good to go.
APX55X. So APX55Y is the one stolen. So it's not yours. You flagged one of our cameras, and so that's why we stopped you, because we thought it was the other place. So give me 1 second, I'll get you out of cuffs. Okay, boss. All right, after watching that video, you can...
Okay, let me stop that. All right. So again, this is going to go into educational instructional mode. I need you all to understand how these flock returns work. Okay. Now, let me preface all of this. I understand there's a constitutionality issue going on with these flock cameras. People on one side think that they're completely unconstitutional. People on another side obviously don't, and they're okay with it. But that's not the argument. You guys can have that argument off to the side. My point is, because they are allowed right now and they are being used right now, we need accountability on how they need to operate. Okay? You and me, we can't change that. We cannot change the fact that they're being used. So if I can't change the fact that they're being used, whether or not I personally believe they belong or they don't belong, it doesn't matter. They're here and they're being used. So what I need to do is make sure they're being used correctly and that people need to know how to use them correctly. So I do want to say Bearded Tim's comment just said, I use Pi ad blocker and I don't see the ads. So if you're having ad issues with YouTube, maybe that is a fix for you. Now, let me try to educate on how it should be used. Okay. So we're gonna go, we may bust over an hour, may go an hour and a half because I also want to get to the video that Tim was talking about that he wanted me to show. So I'm gonna show that one too because he's right. I tried to talk about it. I tried to make a video about it yesterday and the fucking audio screwed up. So okay. So how a flock camera works, all right? Me as the cop, I get a stolen vehicle. We're gonna go with a stolen vehicle because that's the easiest and that's the most common thing they're used for. You get your vehicle stolen. I come over to your house and you're like, yep, my car was stolen right out of my driveway. It was a Ford F-150, a white Ford F-150 truck. Okay. Cool. Any major damage to it? Yeah, the back right bumper is basically falling off, and there's a big sticker on the back window that says "Live in La Vida Loca." It's all white. Okay, cool. Now I've got some distinct characteristics. Cool. Now I'm going to get all your basic information, and you're going to sign a stolen vehicle affidavit, right? Saying, yeah, I'm not making this up. This actually happened. Cool. You sign, and the reason they do that is in case you're trying to pull some insurance fraud shit. Now we can get you on criminal charges for lying under oath. So you sign that. We get the VIN number, the license plate, make, model, color of the vehicle, and some descriptors. Beautiful. Okay. My job is to go do the report as the cop. I got all that information. I've got that stolen vehicle affidavit. I'm going to call NCIC and let them know about the stolen vehicle. So they're going to enter it in. They're going to put all the information in there and they're going to verify the information is correct. Awesome. Now I go to Flock and I type in stolen vehicle, case number this. Here's the vehicle description. Here's the make, model, VIN number, license plate number. Here's the descriptor, the back right bumper's falling off. It should have a sticker on the back saying "Live in La Vida Loca." And that's it. That's the basic information. Your personal information doesn't go in there. There's no PII that goes into a Flock entry. So now your vehicle is reported stolen in NCIC, which is the main thing. This is what all cops are going to be using. So if a cop's sitting there running plates at a light or a stop sign, or a white F-150 goes speeding by and they're like, what was that plate? And they type that plate in. That's going to go into NCIC and that's going to let them know, hey, this is stolen. And that's going to be current information. NCIC is updated, hourly or by the minute. Flock is not. That's another thing that people need to understand. A Flock entry lives and dies by officers putting it in and taking it out. Okay, so if I enter that truck in there and we recover that truck in an hour, and then later, and I don't take that entry out of Flock, that vehicle is going to continue to hit and make alerts that it's still stolen on Flock, even though in NCIC it's been removed because we recovered it. This is a problem for officers. This is a problem for small town departments. Not knocking small town departments, but the training for this has been lacking and you don't get as many reps. Again, I talk about reps. So this is one problem that most citizens aren't aware of. Officers have to remove the entry once the vehicle is recovered. They have to remove it manually. It doesn't just because it leaves NCIC, it does not leave Flock. So that is something that they need to do. Now, in that, let's say the alert hits on Flock. I'm going to get a notification on my computer in my car as a cop. And me in the real-time crime center, I'm going to get a notification on my computer because we're always monitoring that. And what I mean by monitoring is monitoring alerts. You're not sitting there watching camera feeds of Flock. Flock is taking snapshots. It's not taking video. That's another thing that's a misconception. A Flock LPR is not sitting there videotaping an intersection of continuous rolling video. It's snapshots in time, kind of like how a toll road works. So, and what it's doing is it's taking a picture just like a toll road would. It's going to take a snapshot of your license plate to the front, and a snapshot of your license plate to the rear. depending on which way that camera's facing. So that is how that operates. When that stolen vehicle passes by, we're getting a snapshot in time, not a video. It doesn't see into your car at all. It's not looking in your vehicle. That can't see you as the driver. It's looking at your plate in a zoomed out look at your car, because we are looking for that right bumper that is hanging off. We're looking for that sticker that's showing up on the back window. Those are the things that we see. It's kind of a generic look. It's no different than if you were standing on the side of the road and you took a picture of a vehicle that's 100 feet down the road. It's kind of how this works. Excuse me. So as the alert happens, I'm going to get that notification, and it's going to show two pictures, okay? It's going to show the alert picture to the plate that it thinks it is, and it's going to show, let's say it is the truck that we're talking about. It's going to show the truck that it thinks it is. It's like, hey, we think that this plate's right. Okay, let me look. Boom, it's going to show that, and then it's going to show what it's comparing it to, my entry. The entry that I put in of your stolen vehicle, it's going to show that side by side. So this is where I'm getting on the cops. They're being lazy. They're getting a notification, and it's saying, here's the plate in the vehicle. They're seeing the alert that shows the vehicle it thinks it is. And they're not even looking at the side-by-side picture of the vehicle that it should be. Okay? If we have the picture. So what I would do is once that alert pops up, I'm going to run that plate in NCIC immediately to see if it's still showing stolen. Because like I said, sometimes we recover the vehicle, but it hasn't been taken out of flock. So now I need to check that and make sure it's still currently showing stolen. Okay, let's say it is. It's still stolen. Awesome, I confirmed. That's one verification tool right there. So the wrong vehicle doesn't get pulled over. Now I have to visually go find that vehicle and make sure it matches the NCIC hit. So now I'm going to go find that vehicle. Okay, here's our white truck. Yep, I'm living La Vida Loca. Right bumper's falling off. Here's the license plate. License plate matches NCIC. Okay, cool. We're good. It's current. Now let's make contact. That's how it should go in a perfect world. It sounds like a lot of steps. It's really quick. It doesn't take long. It's easy to do. But that's how you ensure that nobody is improperly getting pulled over at gunpoint, which would have fixed this. This is why this particular video is a mess, because they didn't take those steps. Now, you guys know I will call out some bullshit. And a lot of people are mad at Flock for this, but Flock has told cops since day one, this is the procedures. This is how you should be doing it to avoid this stuff. In departments, they get lazy. They don't train it. They don't enforce it, even when they do mess up. So these are the problems. Suge White, what body cam you wear? Axon 4, I think, the one that does the translation stuff. I don't really have to wear a body cam anymore because I'm not out on the street. I have one just in case I do go out on the street, but now I'm kind of an office bitch. I work in a real-time crime center. But the problems where we're falling apart and why people are getting pulled over, they're blaming Flock because it's giving wrong reads. That's been a thing since day one. We knew that. They tell you that. It's not 100%. It's just like facial recognition. You should never use facial recognition as a sole purpose to arrest somebody. It is told in best practices, procedures, and policy that you shall investigate other means to verify the validity of the license plate or the validity of the facial recognition, whatever program we're talking about here. You cannot go based solely off that alert. And I'm going to go back to Flock. You cannot go solely off that alert hit because it can get it wrong. And that's fine. Like, it gets it right. 90% of, let's go with 90%. I think that's a fair, from my experience, and we're talking, been using it for 8-9 years. 90% of the time it gets it right. But we have policy and procedure in place that we look at the plate, we compare it to what it should be, and we're like, it's off a digit. It's really simple. We don't ever fuck that up because we have good policy and procedure. We don't want to be the cop that pulls over the wrong vehicle. I don't want to be that guy. Nobody at my department where I'm at wants to be that guy. So if you have the right policies and procedures in place, you're good to go. And again, this isn't a debate on whether or not this is constitutionally right or wrong. It's here and it's being used. So if it is here and it is being used, we need to be doing it as best we can. So that's where I stand. I'm like, I don't have control over or not it's here. But if it's going to be here, it's got to be used right. And we got to have checks and balances in place. And that's where I'm here to ensure. And that's why I'm talking about it so much. So these cops that keep fucking it up and departments that are probably going to fuck it up because they don't have the right policies and procedures in place, they'll hear it from somebody that doesn't. Oh, that makes sense. I didn't think about that. So that is part of my problem. Tasker said, yeah, policies, they get followed. Not. Flock enables bad cops to do real harm. Okay, this is where this argument gets really terrible for people that are making that argument. Okay. We have policies and procedures on how to use a firearm, right? That kills people. And you're okay with a cop having a gun. Help me make that make sense. So you're okay with him having a gun and making the decision because we have policies and procedures and laws in place, but cops fuck that up. So if they're not able to follow policies and procedures on a simple license plate reader, you're trusting them with a gun to follow the policies, procedures, and laws with a firearm. That's a terrible fucking argument. So let's reset. Okay? Policies and procedures are in place, and if you violate them, now you've given them the rope to hang themselves. Now, here's another part that I love. This is you guys know me. I'm an optimistic, idealistic person. I don't look at this as Big Brother and, oh my God, this is the end of the world. They're spying on us. I look at this as the tool that you have been asking for years and didn't know you were asking for it. Why is this the tool that you've been asking for years and didn't know you were asking for it? Because what do all you motherfuckers say in the chat? We just want bad cops held accountable, and we want good cops to step up and hold them accountable. Well, guess what, folks? This tool provides you the best thing you've ever had to do just that. Why is that? Why do I think that this is the best tool you've ever had to do just that? Because you can't hide from it. It's not done by a cop. It's done by AI. So it's unbiased. When you hit the parameters for being flagged for suspicious behavior with it, it flags it and puts it on a report that you can't delete, you can't hide from. It can go nowhere. It is the smoking gun to getting bad cops out. It is a tool that weeds out bad police. And you can't hide from it. You can't hide it under the rug as police department. There's Freedom of Information Act's going to show it. It's going to tell you who the auditor is that reviewed it. And that auditor is not going to get hung out to dry because you did some dumb shit. This is why you're seeing so many cops in the news currently that have been arrested, that have been fired for misuse of flock. Because this tool has finally helped fix a problem that you guys have complained about for so long. And it's honestly given cops an out to hold bad cops accountable without it making their hands red. That's how I see it. So, I mean, it's working. It's the tool you've been asking for. You just didn't know it. You didn't look at it that way. So, argue that. That's how I want to look at it. You get rid of it, you get rid of a tool that helps scrub these guys out. Here's where I see the future going. Other investigative tools such as Clear, TLO, First Two, Leads Online, Vigilant, I think I said Clear. All these investigative tools, OSINT stuff, whatever it is. All these investigative tools that can dig deep into your personal information. They're going to have to get the same type of auditing tool that Flock has invented. And when they get that for all of those, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better for cops. You're going to see a lot of police officers get fired, a lot, and charged, rightfully so. So, that's how I see it. Abe Lincoln homie. It's funny because my birthday is on Abe Lincoln's birthday. Bootlicking for surveillance state. That's a lazy, like childlike argument. That's not an argument. That's just you trying to get out an emotional outburst to make yourself feel better. Like a kid would do listening to punk rock music when they're, a teenager. I'm against the man, anti-law. Cool. Make an argument. Again, it's not a fourth. I'm not arguing whether or not it is or it is not constitutional. That point makes no difference because it's being used. If it's being used, you got to have accountability. And until the courts rule that it's constitutional or it's not constitutional, you need people like me stepping up and making sure the right things can be done with it being used. So, all right, I do get the humor behind that. He goes, "No, you are." I like that. Fair enough, Abe. And again, I don't have no animosity towards what you're saying, but I do challenge people in our comment section, like, don't just troll comments like that. Like, put up real arguments. Talk. Have conversation. I think you and I actually probably lean in the same direction. But it doesn't matter because it's being used. It's here. It's allowed to be used right now. And if it is allowed to be used, then we need to focus on fixing that issue rather than the longer fight of either they can stay or they got to go. The one that we have right in front of us, the one that you and I have control over, is best practices. So let's get that going. Let's at least clean up what we got, and that's what's happening. Tasker, charged cops. Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm glad you said that because guess what? I've been compiling a list of all the cops that have been charged. So people like you that say that there's no accountability and it doesn't happen. I can show you just how full of shit you are because you don't bother to do the homework. You just say the easy thing. Quit saying the easy fucking thing. Yeah, it's so easy to say sound bites. And yeah, I'm calling you out, Tasker. That's lazy bullshit. Let me open my sidebar here. Give me 1 second. Here it is. Cops charged for flock abuse. All right. I hope you're ready for this one because I'm going to go down the entire goddamn list. Okay, verified flock misuse accountability list. Publicly documented cases through August 14th, 2026. Criminally charged, arrested, and or convicted. All right. State, Georgia. Department, Albany Police Department. Officer, Tatiana Davis, Jay Jackson, Nicholas Richardson, Brittany Smith, Isaac Wittis. All 5 arrested for charges of misuse, license plate data, violation of oath, and are no longer employed by APD. Georgia, Bibb County Sheriff's Department, Tony Sierra Lewis, Kazavian Stubbs, Joseph Calloway, all 3 arrested, charged, including stalking and unlawful retention of license plate data. All 3 resigned as well. Georgia, Greene County Sheriff's Department, Deputy Quinn Shagros, fired and arrested for alleged personal use of flock. Georgia, DeKalb County Sheriff's, Sergeant Kabru Salawu, fired and charged, alleged personal flock searches. Georgia, there's a lot of Georgia to start with because that's where flock started. Let me see. I'm just going to go down the list of names. Patrick Isbell, Deputy Cynthia Jodeci, Lieutenant Chris Bryant, Sergeant Mike Creedon, Major Brandon Sellers, Deputy Christian Brewer, Investigator Chris Hopkins, Lieutenant John McKenzie, Deputy Joshua Johnson, former Deputy Jaquarius Yarborough, Chris Roser, Tracy Royston, Investigator Andrea Wright, Chief Michael Steffman, Detective Brandy Alamy, Christopher Goodson, Jamaris Brown, Cody Hall, Elizabeth Snowman, Seth Elliott, Christian Morales, Jesus Ayala, Detective, can't say that, Trahaging Chapman, William C. Kopp, Prairie Grove Police Department, Deputy Alexander Vanny, Robert Joseph, Lieutenant Victor Hiara, Roberto Sedona, or Sedono, Zachary Gauthier, Latasha Moore, Michelle Burling, Russell Kenton the second. That's from Richland County Sheriff's Department, South Carolina. The other one's from Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky, Kansas, California, Illinois, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Florida, and all the rest of Georgia. So, charged, fired, all of these ones. That's just charged and fired. Those are the ones that have been charged. There's a whole other list that takes up 3 pages of those that have been fired. And then there's another page of all those that have just resigned. That doesn't mean charges aren't going to be pending on all these people, by the way. It just hasn't got to that yet. So I have been keeping a running fucking list because I knew this argument was going to come up. All those that want accountability for police work and have bitched about cops not holding cops accountable, you want to get rid of the best fucking tool we've ever had to get rid of cops that are bad? Shut the fuck up. You're an idiot. Tell me that that's a bad tool. You want to get rid of bad cops, this is one of the best things that you can have. Now let's shore it up and make sure it's being used properly. The fuck out of here. Anyway, Trevor creates, hey buddy, been enjoying the stuff. Sorry, you got me mad. I don't get mad easy, but I'm not going to go down without a fight about a tool that helps me get rid of bad police. There has never been a tool this good that you can't hide from that can help get rid of bad cops. And I promise you, it's going to get worse because other vendors, other companies with other investigative tools, because it isn't just Flock that has stuff like this. It's just the one you guys know about the most. And when they get the same type of tool, holy shit, you're going to be seeing cops getting fired and charged across the nation tenfold of what you see right now. This is one tool. So, we talking about IA? No, we're not talking about IA. We're talking about Flock and all that shit. Something you guys should know about. If IA is involved, we're talking about it's an administrative punishment idea. But if SIU is involved, that is a criminal matter. And at least that's for the larger department. It could be different at other departments. That's just how I know it. So, looking over at TikTok, make sure I'm not missing any comments over there. But if you are on Instagram, please jump over to our YouTube channel to talk. I can't see the chat all the time. But yeah, it's Ario. I'm sorry, I'm going to the comments. I'm trying to wind down. Got me all fired up on that one. Ultimately, Ario says, whether Flock ALPRs stay or leave is up to the people in voicing their concerns to their city halls. Agreed. County commissions and state legislation. Agreed. There's been cities that have gotten rid of it. Your voice matters. Go to your city council. Again, I'm okay. I'm for it. I like them. I have personally caught homicide suspects. I've caught a homicide suspect 15 minutes after killing somebody. Still had the blood and the weapon all over them in the vehicle. I mean, imagine being the victim, the family's the victim, the family of the victim. That's what I'm trying to say. Knowing that your police department caught the person that took your loved one away from you in 15 minutes. Now, I am not saying sacrifice personal privacy in lieu for safety, because that's where I'm on the fence too. And that's why I want it to be used right, so we don't do that. But let's figure out what that is. Where's that happy medium ground? Let's figure that out together. So, but yeah. Freeman Keys, Shot Spotter, the whole Bluetooth connectivity thing. Yeah, the Bluetooth connectivity thing, that's a myth about Flock. That's not something Flock can do, but there is hardware out there that does what you're talking about. But I believe you should have to have a warrant for that. I'm not sure if Shot Spotter is a part of that. I don't know. I can't speak on that for sure. I can tell you that I think gunshot detection systems are bullshit anyway. They, I don't know. I can't speak on that for sure. I can tell you that I think gunshot detection systems are bullshit anyway. They, I think gunshot detection systems are bullshit anyway. They, I think gunshot detection systems are bullshit anyway. They don't help that much. They may help in more rural areas, but in a big city area where we have tons of things that set those off, trains and construction areas and all that stuff, like, nah, they're not worth their weight in gold to me. Every person, every cop has locked up is a suspect in their mind. Huh? Swaggy McBaggy, which is an awesome name, by the way. Every person, every cop has locked up is a suspect in their mind. Well, yeah. Why would I lock someone up that I don't think's a suspect? That doesn't make any sense. If I locked you up and didn't think you were a suspect, that makes me criminal. Has that happened before? Yeah. We've had one on the show that was convicted of homicide that he didn't do. And it was learned that the detective had the evidence to prove that and still got him convicted. That guy had 27 homicide cases dropped afterwards. And all of his homicide convictions are being investigated, and that guy's now in prison. So yeah, if you're locking people up that you don't think's a suspect, your problem. Abe Lincoln, Flock, making police even lazier. 100%, brother. 100%. I made this argument before that cops are so dependent on that Flock stuff, they don't know how to investigate a stolen vehicle anymore. Not all cops. I'm saying like the newer, younger cops. It's an easy button for them. They lack the actual investigative tools to go, okay, your vehicle's stolen at this time. All right, let me start my investigation if Flock never existed. A lot of them would have a lot of problems trying to start from scratch. 100%. Swaggy McBaggy said, exactly. Yeah, 100%. How dare you try to say rural again? I know I hate that fucking word. I hate it. Rural. Can't say it. And I feel dumb trying to say it. Looking at the chats, trying to see what's going on. Tim, okay, let's see that video of that crazy anti-auditor nutball. Okay, yeah, let me, I got to figure out how I'm going to show it. Give me 1 second. We are trying to pull up a video, so I'll try to keep the mic going. I am looking for a video that Tim sent me. I am pulling up my TikTok messages right now. I found Tim's message. Okay, found the video. Okay, we've paused. All right, now let me share the screen. I am going to bring this video up. Okay, here we go. I hope it shows up properly. All right, you guys see the video. Let me make sure the volume's good. All right, we're going to play this. I'll let you guys listen to this dude's rant.
But we'll just bring it up again because lens lickers don't like to remember shit they don't want to fucking remember. We do not give a fuck, and I say we are the bootlickers. We do not give a fuck about a camera. It has nothing to do with the fucking camera. So stop saying you hate freedom and you hate fucking transparency and all that shit. It has nothing to do with the fucking camera, okay? It has to do with why they're doing this and how they're doing this, okay? They're all criminals. So right there it's showing you they're trying to get back at the government for throwing them in jail, making them pay fines, whatever the fuck they did wrong and they got caught for. Secondly, we have not lost a fucking right since 1776 when they wrote the fucking Declaration. So don't tell me we're going to lose our rights. It didn't just start happening fucking yesterday. So give me a fucking break on that bullshit. But now, with these clowns saying they're doing this to fucking help freedom and they're doing this to show transparency, and dude, you're not doing it. You're doing it to line your pockets, and also what you're doing is making it worse for us. Because now in New York, you cannot film in a police station. Absolutely not. Sean made sure of that. Sean's like, I'm going to fight. We're going to get them, boys. Come on back. Get my GoFundMe. Well, you fucked us, Sean. And now, well, now I don't go to New York because it's a fucking shitbag fucking state. But everyone in New York, now, if they do need to fucking film something, they can't. They cannot do it because you fucked it up for everybody. And all you're doing is fucking everything up for everyone else. Why don't you smarten the fuck up, dude? You want to fucking own rental properties and buy 10 more and put the fucking camera down, dude. You're a fucking clown, all right? You're a clown, and all of you are making it worse for the regular people. Let me tell you something. You hate fucking tyrants and you hate police. Tell you this. Follow the fucking law and you don't have to deal with police. How easy is that? Follow the fucking law and you don't have to talk to police. It's that fucking simple, you fucking chodes.
Oh, shit, I accidentally hearted that. Oh, well, I'll give him a little heart because we used him. Okay, let me end sharing that. Stop sharing. Okay, so I had this big, long reaction video that I did to this. However, the audio didn't come through for some reason. And so I had wasted all this time doing a reaction to that. So I'll just talk about it now. First and foremost, I'll kind of go backwards to what he was talking about. The thing with Sean is that he does follow the law. He knows it. The dude is a foremost expert in it. I've had him on the show before. He's a friend of the show. But with that said, even though Sean is a friend of the show, I will listen to this guy's criticism and admit what he's right about and what he's wrong about fairly, despite him being my friend. Freeman's asking, is he a former cop or not? I don't know. I can't tell. There's nothing that indicates he is a cop. And I think somebody else had, I think retired FTO on TikTok had told Tim that he's not a cop. So that's kind of the point. That's why he's out there. He's following the law and he's being jacked with. That's the point. And one of the points that I make is that I've got a bunch of notes that I wrote down here. So I'll go with what I do agree with. And I think to the point that he's trying to get to is there are some bad auditors out there. And that's fair. That's a good argument that there are some bad ones out there. They don't know the law like they claim they do. They do violate the law. They do break it, trying to do their First Amendment auditing stuff. What Sean does has inspired some shit people to do it. So I get that spirit of what he's talking about. So that's where I do agree with some of what he's saying, because I think that's a fair argument. And I think people that are, 100% pro First Amendment auditing, I'm 100% pro. I can still tell you that there's people that do it wrong. It's just like policing. I'm 100% police. I love policing. I think policing is a great job. I don't think the job's dead. I love doing it. But that doesn't mean I can't say there's bad cops out there doing it wrong. There for sure is. Craig, his husband is a cop? Possibly. Not that there's anything wrong with that, Craig. Judgy Judgerson. So let me see here. So yeah, where he loses me is this legal argument side of things. Legally speaking, Sean does it because he does specifically call out Sean, but I think he's talking about auditors in general as well. That's the point. If it's being done lawfully, the problem becomes when the officers and the government oversteps and they act unlawfully. First Amendment auditors are just giving them opportunity to either do the right thing or do the wrong thing. And when they do the wrong thing, that's the whole reason the First Amendment auditors are out there. So then we get into the second part where he's essentially just kind of calling out the baiting. I think that's what he's calling it. That First Amendment auditors are out there baiting. Some are, some aren't. Some bait in a very passive way. Jeff Gray, I think that's right. Jeff Gray does the God bless our homeless veterans sign or God bless veterans sign. I can't remember specifically what it is, but he says nothing. He does nothing. He just shows up, holds a sign in a public place, and cops come and jack with him because somebody calls the cops on him, usually. So when we're talking about baiting, that's the least amount of baiting I've ever seen that cops continuously fail that test. So your attention is focused on the wrong dynamic here, in my opinion. We live in a country that is so free. You can hold your own government accountable in unique and fancy ways that nobody would ever consider without violence. It's amazing. That is amazing. And what I see when I see a First Amendment auditor is, yeah, it could be a thing that irritates you, but if you change your perspective, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe we live in a country so free that they can just do that. Because if they try this in another country, they're going to jail. And possibly going to jail with some lumps. So I love it. And another thing that it's done is it's helped improve police training. It was definitely a gap we had early on. And I think that has been fixed very well across the country because it's getting fewer and far between for departments to really mess this up. But it is still happening. So we got to continue to talk about it. Let me see here. What else do I got? Yeah. So I basically say, know the law, follow policy, control your ego, and congratulations, Sean no longer has content. It's really what it boils down to. Instead of putting the onus on the First Amendment auditor, you should be putting it on the government. So that's kind of how I see that. And then, you know, he kind of alludes to the clicks and the views and the likes and doing it to line his pockets and da-da-da-da-da. CNN, Fox News, police departments, they all rely on clicks and views for their content they put out. Police put out recruitment content. Who else? Cops put out just any videos these days. They put out their own content for laughs or whatever to humanize the badge, if you will. And they're doing that for clicks and likes. They're not doing it to make money, but if it's a byproduct. I personally, I'll call myself out. I do this for clicks and views and follows and likes and money because I put a lot of work into this. I have a mission. Sean has a mission. His mission is to make it so he doesn't have a mission anymore. And I think that's fair. If that makes him money along the way, okay, don't be mad that you didn't think of it. Greg Stevens 7990 on YouTube dropped $20 on us. Thank you very much, sir. We really do appreciate that. He said, criminal trespass, yes. Civil trespass, no. Okay, so we're going back to trespass. Personally, no, it should not be required except to post bond as a bond condition to hold the true meaning of the Constitution. I don't like public audits, but not illegal. Jeff Gray. Jeff is GOAT. 100%. We love Jeff. We're trying to get Jeff on the damn show. We're relying on Southern Draw Law. I don't know if you guys know Southern Draw Law. Please go to his page. Like, follow, subscribe to him. He's great. Former cop, now attorney. And he puts out a lot of great educational info. His takes are amazing. I think he's right 99.9% of the time. And he's probably right 100% of the time. There's just certain things I disagree with. Very rare, very, very rare for me to disagree with Southern Draw Law. But please, if you don't know who he is, go to him. What's the other one? Dang it. Gamble or Gramble. What's his, Clearly Established. That's another guy we're trying to get on here. That's another person I highly recommend you guys follow and like. Clearly Established is awesome, hitting the ground running. So, Otto the Watchdog, we've had him on. He's great. San Joaquin Valley Transparency, we've had him on the show. Great. Kansas City Audits, we love them. We haven't had him on the show yet. Gonna have him. Shit. Who else? I'm just going off of memory, guys, and my memory. Shit. HBO Matt, another great one. Almost all these people we've had on the show. So, I hope you guys like that. But yeah, thanks, Steven. Appreciate that. And yes, we're agreeing on the trespass. So very cool. Joseph Dunn said, Jeff is not really a person looking to be in the limelight, and that's why he doesn't do many interviews, and that's why I have seen his content. That's what I have seen in his content. Yeah, and that's kind of the point against what this guy's saying, that they are all doing this. And this is, again, I'm making the same argument that I wish some of you, not all of you, but I wish some of you would have towards police. This all mentality. All cops do this. All cops do that. No, it's not true. Quit using such final words that encompass everything. Such blanket statements. It's lazy. Don't be lazy. Be intentional. Be curious. It's another thing. Any of my Ted Lasso fans out there, I have taken that to gospel, that particular saying, to be curious. Don't get mad, Freeman. 10 ads. Every time Freeman gets an ad, drink. It's morning, so drink your coffee. To Freeman. I apologize. Ryan B. always used to say, oh, I already read that. We just really ain't getting that many people over there on the TikToks, I guess. If you're over on Instagram or TikTok, please jump over to our YouTube channel. I keep reminding people, but it's out there. Should talk to Leroy Truth about the work he's been doing in Union City, New Jersey. Always a possibility. Brandon Grable. Thank you, Freeman. That's exactly who I was trying to say. I think I said Gamble. Clearly established as Brandon Grable, who is a good friend of Solomon Radner, who has the best depositions for 1983 federal suits. Look up Solomon Radner's deposition. He's a rock star. Yeah, Brad Davis. That's the word I was looking for. Absolute statements. That's right. Because the Sith, they only work in absolutes. I should have thought of it that way. Very cool. Absolute statements are always a show of weak arguments. I get the humor in that. Thank you. And I think Brad and I probably both learned that from the same late, great English professor that we had in high school. That's where I honestly learned that from, Mr. McBride. So there are some great instructors that stick with you for your whole life. And Mr. McBride was one of those for me. And I think he was the first person to ever teach me about absolutes until Star Wars came out. Leroy has done work with Sean, which is the Long Island audit. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see. So my final thought on this guy, and I'm going to coin this term. You guys maybe heard it here first. Somebody else could have said it, but I wrote it down and made it up, so I've never seen anybody else say it. But my thing is, don't beat the auditor. Pass the audit. That's how we should be looking at this. Don't beat the auditor. Pass the audit. So that is my stance on that. Trevor says, laugh my ass off. Leroy is flamboyant, but he's a great guy and his heart is in the right place. See, that's what I'm talking about. I like it. Den Snow said, everyone gets a cut. I like it. Okay, we've been going an hour and a half. We are going to have another show tonight. We're going to have Zoel Murphy. He comes from Red Dog unit out of Atlanta PD. He's retired now, so he is off leash. Now, what you guys may not know is he's about abolish the police. He wants to abolish policing, and he was a cop. And Red Dog is the let me look up the acronym again because I can't remember it off the top of my head. Red Dog unit. So the Red Dog unit in Atlanta was the Run Every Drug Dealer Out of Georgia. It was a controversial, specialized street-level anti-crime and drug task force within the Atlanta Police Department. It was created in 1987 and was disbanded in 2011. That's what Zoel was a part of. And he was even a part of a federal lawsuit, which he was later dismissed from. But he's about police accountability, and he's got the resume to back it up. So it's going to be an interesting show for sure. He's currently living out in Vietnam, so I am very worried about his internet connection, but we'll see if it works out. So that is the show tonight. I hope you guys are looking forward to that, because I will not be able to do a show for about 2 weeks after that. I am going to be going to conferences for my job. So I'm going to be handing the reins over to our people. You may have Alan Banning. Me and Zoel hit it off so well. I'm going to see if he will be on. I may have to get some special guests to jump on, but you'll have some coverage on the Sundays. I just got to get it lined up. So I won't be a part of it, but yeah, Trevor, yeah, that should be interesting. I agree. It's going to be great. I can't wait for you guys to hear his argument about abolishing the police. It's a really interesting take that I had never considered. But I think you guys are really going to like it. I want to get the hype up about the show. I think he's going to be a personality, a lot like Izzo, a lot like anti-hero group guys, Copville, any of the really outspoken things in the space. He's going to be one of those. Just people haven't recognized him yet. Like Jay Bandy that we had on, the guy that had the tattoo across his forehead. He was a cop. So, yeah, we're going to have a lot of that. Looking over at TikTok. Who is Sean and what did he do? Trolley. Sean is Long Island Audit. And he is a First Amendment auditor out in New Jersey, I believe, or New York, somewhere in there. Long Island. Is Long Island New Jersey or is that New York? I'm not geographically inclined in that area. Anyway, JT sending roses. Thank you, JT. Appreciate you. Looking over. You know who Michael Picard is. I know the name. I've heard that before, but I can't tell you who that is off the top of my head. That name does sound familiar. Greg said, police serve a purpose. They just should have Article 2 protections, not Article 3. You're getting in the weeds, legally speaking. That's a little above my head. I can't recall what Article 2 versus Article 3 is off the top of my head. You got to be a little more specific. Are we talking about qualified immunity protections? That's what it sounds like you're referring to, but I'm not 100%. Barry Cooper lives in Vietnam, the former task force agent who put out videos on how to hide your weed. I bet I could get them two connected. Long Island is New York. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was New York. I get it mixed up. Don't make fun of me. Look at Bobs is out there laughing at me. Don't laugh at me, Bobs. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm more the type of guy that you have to like just give me that little gentle nudge. Like, no, it's remember this? Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember that. Yep. So what did he do? You said he did something bad. Trolley's asking. No, I didn't say Long Island did anything bad. He didn't do anything bad. This video that we watched and reacted to that you obviously missed, he was saying that Long Island did something bad. He's against his First Amendment auditing and saying that he shouldn't have been showing up to police departments because now people can't film in a police department because of him. I would argue that it's actually the opposite. He is the reason that we're showing that certain police departments are doing the wrong thing. Freeman's at 11 ads. Drink. I'm drinking. Somebody asked me recently, what is that? What does that represent? If you look real close, if you take away these two sides here, oh, I'm doing a very poor job because it's backward in the camera. That's the Axon symbol. It's a cup from Axon. It's my body cam present, if you will. And it's a great cup. It's one of those hydro cups. Can't spill it. Can put it down so it doesn't go anywhere. I love it. It's my favorite cup. I use it everywhere. Trolley's asking questions. Trolley, if you know where I work, you know I don't talk about where I work. So I can't do that on this platform. It's against general orders and all that stuff. So although I'm not confirming nor denying anything that you just said, I can't talk about that. Let's put it that way. I appreciate you though. It's the only way I can do what I do as an active cop is I just can't talk about where I work. I can't do anything that puts my own department in a bad light or any of that, or I can be fired. So that's the caveat to me doing what I do as an active cop. Sorry about that. But I trust me, I wish I could talk about that one specifically. If you watch any of my stuff, you'll know how I feel about that without me having to say anything. He said he is a firefighter. Now you got my curiosity up. I know that damn name. I think he might have been the guy in Texas. Michael Picard, firefighter. Could be wrong. Nope, that didn't help me. I thought he was the food guy. Whatever I just looked up, it's not helping me at all. So the name does sound familiar. I just don't know why. But yeah, Twitchy, dropping the love. Thank you so much for joining this impromptu live. Much love and have a great day until we see you later. Absolutely. Mr. Billfold finally got out of fucking bed. Welcome, brother. What's up? He works Area 51. Oh, I was just watching the the Bob Lazar video last night. I only got through like 10 minutes and I fell asleep, so I got to rewatch it. So I am super excited to watch this. If you guys don't know, Bob Lazar video is it's new. I think it's on Netflix. I could be wrong about that. I'm not sure what platform I saw it on. Maybe Prime. But I'm a big nerd. Like, if you can't tell, I got so much Star Wars stuff behind me. I am a sci-fi guy for sure. Love all of that stuff. So, his base is on the moon. That's awesome. I'm new to your channel, Trolley, over there on TikToks. Am I able to Trolley 2026 is asking on our TikTok channel if I'm allowed to criticize other departments. 100%. That's a part of what we do here. It's not just criticizing, it's educating. If they mess up, we talk about what they messed up, why they messed up, and how to fix it. It does no good to criticize if you don't have a fix. So that's my recommendation to anybody out there. If you're going to criticize something, you damn well better have a solution to that problem. And then we also highlight what they're doing really well. So that's another thing we do. I want to inspire future officers to see good examples and try to do this job with the examples that we show that are good. And I want them to learn the problems to avoid by the bad stuff that we show. That's kind of one way of bridging that gap. So that's our mission here. I hope that makes sense to you, Trolley. Harrison said, nerd or geek? I would say that I'm kind of both. I did just spend most of Saturday watching Dragon Ball Z. I started the whole season series on DBZ over. From when Raditz comes to Earth and Goku kind of finds out a little bit about his past, to fighting Vegeta when they come back a year later, to going to Planet Namek and fighting Frieza and going Super Saiyan for the first time. And that's where I'm at currently. Right now, he is fighting Frieza. Bulma is still stuck on the planet trying to figure out how to get home while the planet's about to blow up. That's where I'm at with the series. Yeah, I would say I'm a geek and a nerd just because of that. So, I would argue that I am very tech savvy. Very tech savvy. It's just I have so much going on at once. What I do on most podcast platforms, there's several people doing it. That's the problem. And my software continuously updates. So, yeah, I would say I'm better than your average bear with tech. But, I mean, you got to understand, I've got the lighting going. I've got Restream, which has Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Rumble, all going at once, figuring out how to get that ingested, how to get my guests to be able to get on there with me. I'm also running TikTok and Instagram while I have a teleprompter up in front of me, lighting, looking things up, using ChatGPT to keep lists together, letting you know all of the flock arrests that have happened. I mean, I've done all the wiring and audio stuff here myself. I think I'm pretty tech savvy. So yeah, is what it is. Now Tim's actually been to my studio, and it's been improved since the last time he was here, so he understands. He knows exactly. Are you watching Stuart Fails to Save the Universe? I haven't. It's on the watch list. No, I have not, but it's on the watch list. I've heard you say so many times that you're not tech. It's just the excuse I use when I fuck up. That's all it is. It's just my excuse I use when I fuck up. What camera are you using? I'm using a Sony ZEV10. I think they just call it a ZEV10. It's a first generation, the Mark I. It's a DSLR camera. I've got 1, 2, 3. I got 3 of those. And they've all got Sigma lenses on there. They're the 24 by 70 millimeter lenses. I'm using a small rig 220 light right here with a big light box on it. I've got another smaller LED softbox from GVM right here. And then I've got a newer, what they call a hair light, just a backdrop light behind me. And what that does is it cuts, it gives contrast to me from the screen. So to separate me from the background, which this is not a green screen. A lot of people think it's a green screen. I'm going to roll back and show you. Not a green screen. Ugh. And my alarm's going off on my phone telling me it is time. So yeah, this is the studio. I've got let me see. I'll give a shout out to Secret Labs. I have the Magnum XL or Magnus XL desk that's rises up and down. You'll be able to see my monitor come into the screen here. For all those wondering, like, what's that little white piece in the corner? That's my monitor. So, yeah, it does have good autofocus. Yep, 100%. It's one of the reasons I like it. Look, it is almost the lowest end camera that you can get for what we do here, but I think it does the job. You don't need to overcomplicate it. So people that have like the A7s and all these crazy ass, super expensive cameras for doing this stuff, I would argue you don't need it. One of the best compliments I get all the time is that I come in super clear. Well, the reason I come in clear is I bought a decent lens. I didn't buy the most expensive stuff, and I've got a decent camera that does what we're trying to do very well. How do people get access to body camera videos to upload on YouTube? They do a Freedom of Information Act at the department. So Trolley 2026 over on TikTok's asking that. And if you want to know how to get the Freedom of Information Act, most of the time there's a instructional on the police website. If there's not, you can just find the police number, call in, and they'll get you to their whatever unit they have that deals with Freedom of Information Act stuff. It's just a form, and you got to tell them specifically what you're looking for. It could cost you money depending on what you're asking for, how much information you're asking for, and where you're asking for it at. But yeah, we also have a Discord. Please, if you guys want to be even more a part of the community, I am working diligently on trying to get on Discord more often. I am going to start. I did this the other day. I jumped on while I was editing. Anybody can jump in there and talk to me while I'm editing. It does slow me down while I'm editing, but it gives you an opportunity to ask questions that maybe you didn't know or wanted to know that we didn't get to on the thing. So, my mom, Dragon Ball Z and Transformers will haunt me until the day I die. Yeah, I do like me some Transformers. If you guys haven't seen the new He-Man movie, by the way, awesome. They did a really good job on that movie. I thought it was going to be super corny, but it ended up being really funny. So Freeman's up to 12 ads, y'all. Drink. Love it. Okay. We're creeping up here on 2 hours. Unless we got any pressing questions, I think I kind of hit what I wanted to hit today. I think we got some good stuff out there. And you guys now are better informed about criminal trespass, which is what we started out with. Now you know a lot more about flock and the process of how we use it. So I hope I kind of clarified that. And the auditing and why all these people are getting arrested and charged, which is a good thing. So again, it's perspective. It's not that I think your perspective is wrong. Looking at it as this big negative and looking at it as a big brother thing. But you got to understand my perspective too. I look at it as a tool that can help me get rid of bad cops better than anything that's ever existed. And it's very fast. You don't have to find out years later. You can find out the day it happens, guys, and get that shit started. So yeah, it's amazing. Trolley 26 over there saying, let me see here. They said, body cams are becoming more and more popular lately. I think they've been popular, but yes, you're right. Body cams took over the shops, Cops, the show Cops. Can we rewatch these? I missed it. Yes, you absolutely can rewatch these. They'll be on our YouTube channel, so you can see them there. And it should be on our Instagram, so you can watch them there as well. Everybody that donated today, thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. You are helping the show. None of that money is going in my pockets. I say this every time because I want to be very clear. In the day that it does, let me be transparent and accountable. The day that money does go in my pocket and I use it for something else other than the show, I'm going to let you know. Because the day that happens means I'm going to start putting some money in the pockets of my mods. That's my first number one goal. But we ain't there yet. I promise. We're not even covering the bills yet. Every so often we do cover them. We get pretty damn close. I'll admit that right now. We do get pretty damn close. I've got about $1,200 worth of bills a month for what we do. So that's what I need to reach to hit even every month. So I do put a lot into this, and this is why I've stepped up on the lives, because people have started to donate more. So I'm trying to give you more back. It's just the way that it works. I can do more the more the show gets supported. But if you can't do that, the likes, follows, and subscribes have been awesome. Please join our Discord channel. To our mods, you did a great job for an impromptu. I hope to see you guys tonight. Everybody else, I will see you later. And I see a LinkedIn user said, "You're the cop whisperer, basic dude stuff." It's a good way to end the show, guys. The cop whisperer signs out. Have a good day. See you later.